Hey guys, and welcome to our final episode of Weird Catholic Things. And I already feel like I need to apologize because I stole your intro line of "Hey guys."
I know,
I don't know
you
why.
took it.
This
It's
is
okay.
the last episode of the season, and for some reason I'm doing the introductory line. But here we are.
You did good.
But it's crazy that we're already at the end of this season because we've done a whole season of this before. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. There's 9 videos in that season, and this is the 6th from this season, and we've had a lot of fun doing this with you guys once again. So we're excited for this final episode as well.
Awesome. And so today we are talking about the Catholic roots and the Declaration of Independence.
That's right. And I feel like we need to narrow that down a little bit because there's probably so much that could be said about the Catholic influence on the foundation of America, particularly with the Constitution and natural law, the history of natural law and its influence. But really focusing on the Declaration of Independence, we just want to talk about one little fun fact, which is pretty much that there's exactly one signer of the Declaration of Independence who was a Catholic.
No way.
Yeah, and just one. But his signature is pretty prominent on there because at the bottom you have John Hancock, where we get the give me your John Hancock from. And just, I think it's 4 names down from him. Prove me wrong if I'm wrong. I think it's 4 names down from him. It says Charles Carroll of Carrollton, and he was a Catholic who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Man, interesting that he chose to sign Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
Because Carrollton was clearly named after his family, so it seems like a little bit repetitive. But he wanted to be clear.
Like just to be,
I'm the Carroll from Carrollton.
And not Carrollton in Texas, right?
No, not the one that's an hour away from here. We're talking about Carrollton, Maryland.
Okay.
And one of the original 13 colonies, right? And interestingly, Maryland was also known as kind of the refuge for Catholics in the 13 colonies because, when we talk about the history there, we have to remember that, of course, the United States, the foundation had a lot to do with religious liberty.
Right.
But England at that time was not particularly friendly to Catholics.
Oh.
So it's mostly various Protestant groups coming over here as part of the 13 colonies. And so that dislike of Catholics carried over from England to the colonies originally. So Maryland was a particular refuge, even though there were challenges there in terms of religious persecution for Catholics.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Little old Maryland.
Little old Maryland. Appropriately named because, Mary, our mother, Maryland. But it's not really, I don't think, for our Blessed Mother. I think it was for a queen or a princess or something. But regardless, an appropriate name for a refuge for Catholics.
That is awesome.
So, this guy, Charles Carrollton.
Yeah.
Charles Carroll of Carrollton.
Carroll of Carrollton.
Charles Carroll. So he's this public figure, this politician, and also, an advocate for his fellow Catholics, saying, we're founding this place. We've moved here in search of religious liberty, and we need to be consistent. The Catholics are being persecuted, and that's not consistent with our purpose here. And his family must have been pretty influential in all this because actually, when the first bishop was assigned in what was then the 13 colonies, the bishop was actually Charles's cousin, John Carroll.
John Carroll of Carrollton.
Yeah, so he's basically the first bishop of this new world, as it was known at that time, right? So
that's awesome.
So John and Charles were a power duo of Catholicism in the early days of what's now the United States of America.
Wow, so cool. There's your little tidbit of a root.
There it is. There a little bit from the Declaration of Independence. And
yes.
This is something where maybe it just seems like a random fun fact and it's not very important. But I think there's an important tie-in for us today because, as we mentioned, this had a lot to do with the persecution of Catholics in the early days of the 13 colonies. And we don't really tend to think about ourselves as having any challenges with our freedom of worship these days. We come to Mass every Sunday and don't have a problem. But we always got to be on guard and be aware of when things start to encroach on that. And one example recently is the Little Sisters of the Poor. You remember what happened with them?
Yeah, they were trying to be forced to provide coverage for contraceptives.
Right. Through their insurance having to provide contraceptives for their employees, and so. These are the little things that we have to look out for as Catholics, and the reminder for us is that we need to be seeking to be holy. We need to be seeking to be informed citizens of this land that we live in, to make sure that we preserve our religious liberty in every way. So
That's awesome. And there's been like a common theme throughout this whole season, really, of the desire to not become complacent, but to always be alive and on guard on our faith and growing, and not just to become lukewarm. So it's kind of cool. It's been like a constant theme.
Absolutely, yeah. And these reminders that, going back to the ichthys, the fish from the early church, that faith in Jesus Christ does not always make us popular or fit in. In fact, it should kind of make us not so much fit in with the world in certain ways. And so, this is another good reminder of that. So
awesome.
Yeah. So thanks again for joining us on Weird Catholic Things Season 2. We've loved doing this. So.
Yes, it's been a blast. Maybe it'll be Season 3.
Maybe.
You never know.
All right. Until then, take care and God bless.